two.
Part
two of our good videos for the night. We're talking about a lot of things. The first one is about communication, maybe flaws that you might have, maybe somebody can relate or anything like that. Right now we want to talk about being realistic, because I don't think that a lot of people are being realistic in their relationship. So when I hear realistic, I mean I feel like, you know how on cartoons when they used to have the walls flop down and it just used to be one big open space? I feel like that's what happens when you're being realistic.
What cartoon is that?
You know, like on the Looney Tunes, when like they used to like make them think that they're somewhere, but they not, and then the walls fall down.
Yeah, and it'd be like a green screen or just empty space.
That's what I feel like it is with realistic. Being realistic, for real. Because I touched bases on it in the first video when I said that, you know, it has a lot to do with expectation. It has a lot to do with who you thought you knew, or what y'all came up with when y'all was trying to be cute and get to know each other and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people put a lot of fairy dust on a lot of things when they're just dating. I'm trying to impress you. I want you to feel like I'm the bomb and you don't need nothing else. I want you to be there, right? But realistically, when you start dating me, you'll notice that I don't get up and do makeup every day. Huh? I don't do that every day. That's not a given at this point. That's just something I like to do for fun. But when your expectation was, well, she looked like this every time I come around her, so she gonna do this every day when I get with her. And if that is something that you're not willing to look at, like, well, realistically, I can live with you and you not have on makeup every day, or I can, you know, move on from that. That's something small. It's not small to everybody. If you're really into that, you're looking for that every day, and that's being realistic. That's saying, hey, you know, I can't get with that, you know, no eyebrow and your face is bald. Like, I can't do with that all day. That's just how I see it. Also, everyone's relationship has some type of issue in it. Some type of issue. You got to have something. If it's 100,000% perfect, y'all lying. Like, you're lying. And no, I don't mean you have to put your business out. No, I don't mean you have to start going on each other on social media and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be realistic with one another, that you ain't perfect, I'm not perfect. No, we not the same type of thing, but we're going to be strong for each other. Okay. That's being realistic.
Okay. Yeah, like, honestly, everything ain't always peaches and cream. You know, everything ain't always glitter and gold. When we first got together, my money was a little long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was driving, I had a nice car, you know, a nice job. I was getting good money, everything. But it started to change. You know what I'm saying? And she got to see the struggle side of me. When we first started dating, she got to see the side of me that was, she used to tell me, we used to sit in the car all the time and talk for hours. Hours, 4 or 5 hours at a time. And she'd be like, cut your car off. And I'd be like, I'm not tripping about that. My air would be on and my windows would be down because I like that. And she would be like, you know, you burning your gas. I'd be like, man, I ain't tripping about that. I'm not about to do that now. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't struggling now.
She don't. But you like, girl, cut that.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, like when I first got with her, the expectation or what she was used to was, you know what I'm saying?
She got it like that.
Yeah.
And that's what she want to do.
Yeah, and when I got hit with a huge rock in the road that set me back, I was lucky enough to have her to be able to just flow with it and to understand it. Like, you know, circumstances have changed. Aside from materialistic things, you know, in the relationship, this is true. we were in the honeymoon stage for a long time. I'm talking like we had drama in our relationship, but people brought it to us.
Yeah.
It wasn't our personal drama, her and I. It was things we were dealing with on the outside. Me being gay and dealing with her who's straight, who just went through a divorce. People saying I was manipulating her and
I was using
and
her.
she was using me, and you know, our families and people we love dearly and people that we confide into had opinions. So we dealt with stuff. Yeah. But we didn't really deal with stuff with each other. And when we first, you know, started to have disagreements in between us two, because we didn't have arguments, and we still have, I don't think we've ever had a screaming match. We both raised our voice, but we've never had a screaming match. Thank God for that. When we did start to disagree, it hurt. And I thought that something was happening to the relationship. I felt like, oh snap, it's going downhill. I would have flashbacks of my past relationship and be like, she about to break up with me. It would be something simple, but I would be like, oh snap, like we about to break up. And the reason why that I felt that way wasn't because I didn't trust that her feelings weren't real for me. It wasn't because I didn't think she didn't love me. It was simply just because I was so stuck on the honeymoon.
Being realistic.
I wasn't being realistic. I wasn't accepting the fact that stuff happens. I wasn't, I didn't even want to vision us had disagreeing about something. I thought that we were supposed to always agree, perfect, like she said. Like, I really was stuck. That's not to say that the honeymoon stage has to stop. That you control that. Yeah. That's up to you and your relationship. Unfortunately, but not really unfortunately, we did start to go downhill because life got rough for us. Things got hard for us. We did start to decline, but we didn't let it tear us apart. We just lost that little extra spark, you know, temporarily. I'm still head over heels for her. She still feels the exact same way for me, but when things got rough, it did start to go downhill, but that's because of us. That's because we started to let, you know, negativity get to our head. But you could control that. So don't feel like, I use the word honeymoon stage or honeymoon phase. That's fairy tale stuff, but what I mean is that extra happy spark. Even if you have a spat, even if you have a situation, I got the word spat from her. So the definition of spat is argument, disagreement or something. But even if you have that, you still can bounce back.
Right.
It was just hard for me to bounce back. I had almost got depressed. We had to have like serious sit down conversations.
Almost like you're not moving until we figure out what the heck is
like it, I was devastated. But I wasn't being realistic.
My reality check with being realistic was figuring out that I can disappoint Markia. I can be on her bad side. Or I can, I'm not playing with y'all. Or I can make her mad. For a long time, we was mad. Huh? We can't make each other mad. First of all, we goofy. Both of us. Like, and like, we think everything's a joke. Everything's funny. Everything is sunflowers and gardens and like, you know, all of that. Yes, it was.
I didn't say it wasn't.
When I realized that, you know, I can be irritating, and I could really, she could not want to be my friend, like, or
that I got a bad attitude. Just being honest. Or that
she has a bad attitude.
I'm working on it, guys.
Okay, like this is brand new, and that was a reality check that I was smacked with because in my eyes this was impossible. Like we would never do this. We would never have any issues. We would never, you know, get on each other's nerves. We would never have something we was holding back from each other. And I don't mean that as in secretive, but more so like trying to make sure we don't hurt one another. But like I said in part 1, you have to tell that person when they're making you upset, or when they're not doing right, or when Monday of January you said such and such and such, and I ain't say nothing, but I should have said, like, those things have to come out, because they're going to follow you everywhere you go. They're going to keep following you. The farther you go, the more it's going to go with you, and on the way you're just going to keep picking up and picking up and picking up until it's too much on your back. And now y'all at that stage where it's just like, F it. Like, I don't care what happens or what come out at this point or any of that. And all that is built up because you wasn't being realistic. You wasn't telling the truth. You wasn't getting to the point of like what you were really feeling or what was really going on. You just kept covering up and covering up and covering up instead of just being honest. And I think that a reality check and being realistic, it happens to the best of us. You just think you so in love, girl, and you think that man or that woman or whatever you into is just perfect. Like it's like having a crush. When you have a crush on somebody, most of the time it's crazy because you don't even know that person. You don't know not one thing. You don't know not one real thing about that person. You know they cute. You know that they say some slick stuff to you in your ear. That it makes you feel all good. Like you just the best thing on this planet until he do something or she do something that you be like, like what? What is going on?
Like forgetting to flush the toilet.
Yeah. Something like that. You be like, hold up. She'd have never done that. She'd have never done that in real life.
When you get something good, when you get in a relationship, it start off great, cherish it. I'm not saying don't cherish it. Cherish it. Be happy that you have it. Hold on to it. But don't set yourself up for failure by thinking that you can't, that you too perfect for something to happen. I'm a prepare in advance type person. I prepare in advance for everything, but I was not prepared for our first argument. I was not prepared for the first time that we disagreed. I was not prepared for the first time that I seen her cry in the midst of a conversation. I'd like to say that she wasn't prepared either to see me cry. I was going to think of something else, but the truth, to see me cry. And that's because I was stuck on fairy tales and gumdrops and rainbows, and life is like that, but you still got to come back to the reality. You still have to understand that what is a relationship that doesn't have flaws? Where do you grow from that? You like if you're in a relationship and everything is perfect, like where's the up? Like I want to be in a relationship where I grow.
I want to say something. I want to say something. Because we're speaking on being realistic and being, the reality of things. But don't take realistic for trickery. Because some people will say, like she just said, what relationship goes on without any problems or issues or things like that? That's very true. You're not going to have anything where you don't have no issues. But if your issues are constant, if your issues... it don't have no end. If your issues is something that you really can't shake off, like we were saying, like you can't move on from, or something like that, do not allow anybody else to tell you that this is the way you're supposed to be doing things. The reality is we're supposed to argue every day, all day, because that's showing how we love each other. Because that ain't it. That's not the truth. Nope. The truth is, reality-wise, you need to figure out where you're going next. Like, especially if you're over that situation. Why sit and waste your time? I'm telling you, it's not where it's at. It's so much time has been wasted, though you can't get that time back. So moving forward, you just need to look at it like my reality is I'm never going to be put in that position ever again, especially if I don't want it. So if I want to deal with Markia's realities and her being realistic, then that's what I'm going to do, because I choose to do that. Not because I feel like I'm obligated, not because she's making me feel like I ain't got nothing else beyond this. not because of, pressure on feeling like ain't nobody else gonna want me. None of that. And her vice versa. If she felt like, you know what, my reality is I can't deal with this no more. I can't deal with Milla's attitude. I can't deal with this and that. That's the reality. Her sitting and saying, well, we argue, that's just what it's gonna be. That's no. It don't have to be. Yeah, it don't have to be like that. So make sure you're understanding your own reality.
Your levels.
You're trying to, deal with somebody else's.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Listen.
I'm glad that we even brought that up because I don't want our message to get misconstrued.
No, and that's why I stopped it because
So good point. So number one, you're going to have situations. Things are going to happen. Number two, it's okay. Don't allow your past or what you've been through affect your present. And number three, if the reality is that this is toxic,
and
this is too much, it's done.
Girl.
It's over. It is what it is. And number four, don't give up. Try again. Don't give up. We want to thank y'all for watching part 1 and part 2. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following us on social media. Of course, as usual, I'm going to have those posted. And the song of the day is
Raheem DeVaughn Marathon.
Raheem DeVaughn Marathon. I'll make sure I drop that down for y'all.
Yes.
And don't forget, 1, 2, 3. Let love. Mwah.